Number 7. The doorway reset. You walk into a room, and suddenly your mind goes blank. You stop. You look around. You try to remember. Why did I come here? For a second, you feel annoyed with yourself. It feels like your memory failed, like your brain just stopped working. But here's the surprising truth. Your brain didn't fail. It actually did exactly what it was designed to do. Your brain organizes life into events. Not time, not minutes, not hours. Events. And one of the strongest signals your brain uses to mark a new event is a change in location, especially doorways. When you pass through a doorway, your brain quietly closes the previous mental file and opens a new one. It's like switching tabs on a computer. The moment you step into a new room, your brain assumes the previous task is finished. That's why walking back into the original room often makes the memory come rushing back. You didn't forget. You just changed context. And once you realize your brain is constantly organizing reality like this, you start to notice something even stranger. Sometimes, it hears things that were never actually there. Number 6. The phantom hearing effect. You're sitting quietly, maybe working, maybe scrolling, maybe half asleep, and suddenly you hear your name clear enough to notice, soft enough to be uncertain. You turn your head instantly. No one called you. You listen again. Silence. For a moment, it feels weird, but this isn't a mistake. And it definitely isn't your imagination. This is your brain doing something very smart. Your brain is constantly scanning the environment for signals that matter. And out of all the sounds in the world, one sound is especially important to you. Your name. So when it hears a sound that's similar enough, it quickly fills in the missing details. A distant conversation. A TV in another room. Someone talking outside. Even random noise. Your brain runs a fast prediction. Was that my name? And sometimes it guesses wrong. But here's the key part. Your brain would rather make a false alarm than miss something important, because missing a warning signal could be dangerous, so your brain stays slightly alert all the time. And the strange thing is, this same prediction system doesn't just affect hearing, it also affects how you see time. Number 5, the time skip illusion. You glance at a clock. The second hand moves, but the very first second you look at feels longer than the rest, almost stretched, almost frozen. Then everything goes back to normal. You might ignore it or assume you imagined it, but you didn't. That extra second is a real experience, created entirely by your brain. Every time your eyes move quickly, your brain briefly shuts off visual input. For a tiny fraction of a second, you are technically not seeing anything. This prevents your world from looking blurry when your eyes jump from one point to another. But your brain hates gaps in reality. So instead of showing you the blank moment, it quietly fills in the missing time. It stretches the first image you see to cover the invisible gap. You're not seeing more time. You're seeing fabricated continuity. And once you understand this, something slightly unsettling becomes clear. Your brain is not just observing the world, it's constantly predicting it, adjusting it, smoothing it, even rewriting small parts of it. Number 4, the memory rewrite loop. You remember something clearly, a conversation, an argument, a moment from years ago. You feel confident about it, almost certain. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Every time you remember something, you change it. Not on purpose, not consciously, but physically. When your brain recalls a memory, it doesn't open a perfect recording. It rebuilds the scene from pieces, emotions, sounds, images, assumptions. Then it stores the memory again, slightly updated. That means your memories are not fixed. They're living. They evolve every time you think about them. And over time, small changes stack up. A detail gets sharper. Another detail fades. A feeling becomes stronger than it really was. That's why two people can remember the same event in completely different ways. Not because one is lying, but because both brains edited the story in their own direction. And this glitch shows up in everyday life. You replay a conversation in your head. Later, you remember it differently. You feel more confident, more emotional, more certain. But certainty doesn't always mean accuracy. Your brain protects meaning, not precision. And once you realize your memory can be rewritten, you start to notice something even stranger. Sometimes your brain doesn't just rewrite the past, it predicts the future so strongly that it changes how you behave in the present. Number 3, the spotlight illusion. You walk into a room. People are talking, moving, doing their own thing. But suddenly you feel exposed, like everyone can see you. Like everyone is noticing your clothes, your face, your mistakes. You become hyper aware of yourself, your posture, your voice, your movements. It feels like a spotlight is shining directly on you. But here's the reality. Most people barely notice you at all. Not because they don't care, because they're busy thinking about themselves, their own worries, their own appearance, their own problems. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect. Your brain assumes you are the center of attention because you are the center of your own world. So it exaggerates how visible you are to others. That's why small mistakes feel huge. You trip slightly, you say the wrong word, you spill something, and your brain instantly screams, "Everyone saw that." But most people forget within seconds. Their minds move on. And once you understand this glitch, something powerful happens. You feel less pressure, less fear, less hesitation. You realize the spotlight you feel is mostly in your head, but this illusion connects to something even deeper. Because sometimes your brain doesn't just make you feel watched, it makes you feel certain about things that aren't actually true. Number 2, the confidence trap. You make a decision, you feel sure about it, confident, certain, and that certainty feels like proof. If I feel this sure, I must be right. But confidence is not evidence. It's a feeling, and your brain can generate that feeling even when the information is incomplete. This glitch shows up everywhere. You remember a fact. You repeat it confidently. Later, you discover it was wrong, not because you were careless, because your brain values clarity more than accuracy. It hates uncertainty. So when information is missing, it fills the gaps quickly. Then it locks onto the answer and protects it. The more you repeat the belief, the stronger the confidence becomes, even if the belief started as a guess. That's why people can defend wrong ideas with absolute certainty. Not because they're stubborn, because their brain feels safe when it feels sure. And this is where the final glitch begins. Because the most powerful brain glitch of all doesn't just affect memory, or perception, or confidence. It shapes how you see yourself. And once you notice it, you start to understand your behavior in a completely different way. Number 1, the control illusion. You make a decision. You choose what to say. You choose what to do. You choose what to believe. And it feels like you're fully in control. Like every action comes from a clear, conscious choice. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of your decisions are made before you are aware of them. Your brain starts preparing an action milliseconds earlier. Quietly, automatically, behind the scenes. Then your conscious mind steps in and takes credit. It feels like you decided, but in many cases, you approved a decision that was already in motion. Scientists have measured this in labs. Brain activity predicting a movement appears before a person reports deciding to move. Your brain is constantly running simulations, evaluating options, choosing directions, long before you feel the choice. And this glitch shows up in everyday life more than you realize. You reach for your phone without thinking, you open an app automatically, you walk into the kitchen and suddenly find yourself eating without remembering the decision. It feels like free will, but often it's momentum, habits, patterns, triggers. Your brain is trying to save energy because thinking deeply about every decision would be exhausting, so it automates behavior whenever possible. And most of the time, that's helpful. But sometimes, it also keeps you stuck. Repeating routines, reacting the same way, making the same choices. Not because you want to, because your brain already built the path. And the deepest realization is this. You are not powerless, but you are not fully conscious all the time either. Your brain is running systems in the background, little glitches that shape your behavior every day. And the moment you become aware of the glitch, you gain the ability to interrupt it. That's where real control begins.